Let's talk about the one thing most important in racing: tires. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about the difference between asphalt tires and dirt tires. Alright, let's start with the most important thing: cost. So, asphalt tires are around $800 a set. You So that equals out to about $200 a tire. But last year we kind of had a tire shortage. Probably gonna have a tire shortage again this year, and people are buying tires probably 1,500 a set for practice. Which, if you don't know, that's more than we race for most of the time. So asphalt tires are a little outrageous. So we usually run 4 per race. There's some people, mostly before the tire shortage, would put stickers on there in practice, and back then that was pretty common. Now it's a little less common because there's a lot less availability of them. But like I said, they're really expensive and still people pay for it because people want to win at any cost. And when it comes to buying 4 tires to race, there's not really an option of that. Pretty much, you have to buy 4 tires to race. There's no bring your tires in. You have to buy them at the racetrack, mount them there, and they have to stay there. If for some reason they decide to run 2 tires, you gotta leave tires, and then they can't ever leave the racetrack. And another big thing about asphalt tires is they do give up pretty quickly. A sticker tire, you're probably gonna lose around 2/10 after one run, and by the end of the race, you're probably gonna lose half a second to 3/4 of a second. So on a dirt late model tire, we're usually paying around $225 a piece. It kind of varies between which manufacturer you get them from and where you buy them, but usually 225 is a good number, about what I paid this year for them. So one major thing that's different between dirt racing and asphalt racing is you just bring your tires to the racetrack. They have to be a certain compound, or there's different rules with different racetracks, but pretty much you can bring your tire, and it doesn't matter as long as you're running the same tire in qualifying as you do in the race, and it's the right compound. It doesn't matter anything beyond that. So this means you don't have to put new tires on all 4 corners every week. So sometimes you can go to the racetrack and not even buy tires. You just run the same tires you ran on last week as long as you didn't hurt them that bad. And this does save a lot of money. So now we can get down to some of the technical difference between the 2 tires. So on the left you have the dirt tire, on the right is the asphalt tire. So pretty much they're both Hoosier tires. The many different compounds when it comes to dirt tires. On asphalt, there's only really 2 that we run. We run an F50 and an F45. As you can see, the asphalt tire is really just smooth, no tread at all. And on the dirt tire, there's different grooves in them. And as we'll show you later, there's different patterns you can put in them for the different locations the tire is and different track conditions. So on the asphalt core, we run the same compound all the way around. We run a F45 most places, like at Tri-County, Hickory, pretty much all the weekly racetracks besides South Boston. And on these tires, we run tire pressures anywhere between 10 to 25 pounds. Usually that means we'll run 10 in the left, usually 20 in the right to start a race, maybe a little lower. It just depends on the racetrack. And when it comes to new tires, we have to do that in the tire barn usually until they're released to qualify. So when it comes to doing new tires, the way I do it, put 35 pounds in all of them, let them sit, let them expand, because they do expand with heat and air pressure. So you just let them expand, try to get them as big as possible, measure them, and then let them down to 25 or 20, 30, and then measure them again, and just put them on the car where your stagger matches up. It's not very complicated. And they're actually, I've not had much issue with them. If anybody says asphalt tires are complicated, they're making it a lot harder than it really is. So when it comes to dirt tires, Depends on where you're racing. Some places have different compounds. There's a lot of different sizes. You run a lot more stagger. On the asphalt car, you're running like an inch to inch and a half. On a dirt car, you're running 3 to 4 inches of stagger. So your tire sizes have to be a lot different from each other. So this leads to needing more tires just because stagger makes such a big difference. So you need to have those tires in case you need that different stagger just for the track conditions. So unlike the asphalt tires, as you can see, you buy your tires from SRI, Westpage, anywhere that you can get tires, and then you bring them home and you have to mount them yourself. At their asphalt track, there's a tire changer there to actually change the tire. One thing that is different between the asphalt and dirt tires is the wheels. The wheels on a dirt tire are aluminum. On the asphalt car, they're steel. And the dirt car, you're allowed to run bead locks. You're not allowed to run those on asphalt. And having to do all that work on the dirt tire leads to having a lot of time at home working on them. So there's a lot more than just mounting them. There's sopping them and grooving them. And that leads to you're probably going to spend depends on how much grooving you're going to have to do, but you're going to at least spend an hour per tire. Mostly if you're unskilled like I am. So going back to the different compounds on dirt, like I ran a series last year that ran pretty much an open tire on the front. You could pretty much run whatever tire you wanted. So you could run a 1300, a D21, 1350, 1600. It really didn't matter what tire you ran on the front. So you had to go, if you really were serious about it, you really, like, I probably had 3 different front tires, at least right front tires that I took to the racetrack. I didn't know what to do with them, but I had them. And that leads to grooving them. So when you're doing that, you got to groove differently by how the track conditions are. But the good thing about the series is they had a hard tire on the rear. So I had a hard tire on the rear that I bought used from some guy, and I still went to the race and made the show with it. And it didn't cost me but $25 for that tire. So, as you can see, grooving the tire does take a decent amount of time. Pretty much starts as a smooth tire, and you're just going to cut grooves in it however you deem fit, because it really depends on what the racetrack is, and that determines how big a block you want, what direction you want the block. If you have a front tire, you want them kind of angled, and when it comes to the rear tires, you want them square. But don't take my advice. I really don't know what I'm doing, so don't take that as the Bible. So this is an example of a tire starting with. This is how it looks when it's over. See all the grooves I've put in it? And I'd say that probably took me a good hour to 2 hours to do. But like I said, I'm not very good at it, so probably an expert could have done it a little quicker. And there is other tires that already have grooves put in them, so those are a little easier to do. So what we conclude, racing is expensive. Tires on an asphalt car, it does cost you a little more to go to the racetrack, but you do have to have a bigger inventory on when it comes to dirt racing. So I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to do some more videos kind of comparing the two, dirt and asphalt. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment if you got any questions. Try to answer them the best I can. Like I said, not the best expert on dirt racing, but I'll do the best I can. Thanks for watching.